and welcome back to my show. My name is Ventola, of course, and today we have all the exciting gist for you. So, the Champions League is done, which means the Champions League is starting very soon as next month when we obviously return from international friendlies. But yes, we also have the Europa League, no draw done, and that of the Europa Conference League done. Now, there's a new format for the Champions League, and it's not like last season where you have a total team of, I think, played in groups. But this time they are not played in groups. You will be, facing up against some other teams, and then after that to go through to the round of 16. But when the Champions League itself starts, we are going to be giving you all the gist and what to expect, and the format and everything. We are going to go full gist into it. And so I'm just obviously going to read the draws that have been done for the Champions League, the Europa League, and the Europa Conference League. And as time goes on, or closer to when the games are going to start playing off, we'll talk more about it. And so definitely some of the teams that have qualified from the Premier League obviously includes, in the Champions League, we have Arsenal, we have Manchester City, who are obviously champions of the Premier League. We have Liverpool and we have Aston Villa. And then in Europa League, we have Tottenham and Man U, who qualified for the Europa League because they obviously won the FA Cup, and Chelsea, who were unfortunate not to qualify for the Europa League because Manchester United won their game against Man City, would be playing in the Europa Conference League. And so I'm going to just read some of the fixtures that will be played, or some of the draws that have been done. And Real Madrid, who are the current champions, obviously they've won it for a record 16 times. Like, they know how to win this competition. It's a known competition for them. So Real Madrid will be facing off Borussia Dortmund, Liverpool, AC Milan, Atalanta, and Stuttgart. And Man City, who are Premier League champions, are facing off Inter Milan, PSG, and Juventus. We also have Liverpool, who qualified also from the Premier League, facing off Real Madrid, AC Milan, Bayern Leverkusen, and RB Leipzig. We also have Barcelona, who are from La Liga, facing off Bayern Munich, Borussia Dortmund, Atalanta, and Monaco. Then Bundesliga champions Bayern Leverkusen will be facing off Inter Milan, Liverpool, AC Milan, Atletico Madrid. And then Arsenal will be playing PSG, Inter Milan, Atalanta, and I think about another 3-4 teams. Aston Villa, who are obviously returning to the Champions League. So those are like the surprise team. They'll be facing off Bayern Munich, Juventus, and Monaco. I think it's going to be a tough set of games for them. And then we also have Atalanta, who is playing Real Madrid, Barcelona, and Arsenal. We have Borussia Dortmund playing Barcelona, Real Madrid, Shakhtar Donetsk, Bayern Munich playing off PSG, Barcelona, Aston Villa, and we also have PSG, who are playing Man City, Bayern Munich, Atletico Madrid, and Arsenal. Now, those are some of the games and some of the teams that are playing in the Champions League. And of course, in the Europa League, we have Manchester United, who qualified from the English team. They're playing Rangers, Porto, Fenerbahce, and Victoria Pleasant. And Tottenham, who also qualified, are facing off Roma, Rangers, Galatasaray, and Hoffenheim. And Rangers, obviously, in Europa League, also are playing of Lyon, Nice, and they're also supposed to play Tottenham and Manchester United. And then in the Europa Conference League, Chelsea from England are playing Gent, Heidenheim, Astana, Shamrock Rovers, Panathinaikos, and Noah. Now, those are some of the draws. I just picked the games that are the English teams are playing, but later in the course of when the games are going to start kicking off, we are going to dive more into the championship games, the Europa League, and the Europa Conference League. So those are some of the draws that have been done yesterday and today. So we would leave that when it gets to when the games are going to kick off. We are going to talk or dive more into it. Now let's just go straight into some of the games that are going to be happening this weekend. And of course, we start off with the Premier League, and that is a match day 3 preview. And it kicks off on Saturday. Arsenal playing Brighton. Now these two teams have won both their first two games, and it's going to be interesting to see how they are going to face off each other. Now I think Arsenal Brighton is always a very interesting match. I think Brighton have won their last two games against Arsenal. So I want to believe Arsenal is playing at home. They are playing in their house. So they have the fans around them and they should be able to win. Worst case scenario, maybe the game ends in a draw, but it's going to be a very interesting game. Now, the Brighton's coach is quite a young coach, and you can see what he wants to do with that team. They're playing progressively. They're playing attack-minded football. You know, their defense is good. They've not conceded a goal in, I think, in their last two games. They've not conceded a goal. But, oh no, I think they have considered a goal, but they've won the last two games. So it's a good one for the Brighton coach and for Brighton team that they've started with 2 wins out of 2. And that's for 12:30 p.m. And then by 3 p.m. Everton hosting Bournemouth, Ipswich Town, the newcomers hosting Fulham, Leicester City playing Aston Villa, and Nottingham Forest hosting Wolves. And those are 3 p.m. kickoff games. And by 5:30 p.m., West Ham is playing Manchester City. I do think Manchester City is going to pick this one. Yes, maybe West Ham won their last game at home, and so that might be a form of, encouragement that yes, they're playing at home. They have the fans with them to encourage them. But then again, I still think that Man City should be able to pick all 3 points. And so on Sunday, we have Chelsea Crystal Palace. Now, Chelsea has won 4 of their last 5 games against Crystal Palace, and so it should be another easy win in the park. Newcastle United against Tottenham Hotspur. Well, St. James's Park is always a very lively place to play, and so just maybe if Newcastle is going to win this, maybe a 1-0 win or 2-1 win, or possibly a draw. So, but I do think it's going to be an interesting one. And the pick of the bunch is Manchester United versus Liverpool. Now, the last time Manchester United played Liverpool, it ended in a draw. I remember, I think a year ago, is it last year or 2 years ago? Yes, when Manchester United played Liverpool, Liverpool like trashed them 7-0, and for that reason, people just felt that it was going to be an easy one for Liverpool because yes, Man U didn't do well as at the time they were going to play Liverpool, but surprisingly, the match ended in a draw, and I do think it's still going to be difficult to see what Man U is going to do in this match because they lost their last game against Brighton 2-1, and Liverpool has won their last 2 games. So I don't know. You really never can tell. I feel like this match is always a very feisty one, and you really never can predict what will happen between the both of them. So I think it's going to be an interesting one. Probably end in a draw. That's my guess. But let's see how that will go on Sunday. And then it's La Liga match day 4, where matches kick off on Saturday. And Barcelona, who have 2 wins out of 2, are going to be facing Real Valladolid. Athletic Club hosting Atletico Madrid. That's going to be an interesting one. It's more like a derby. Espanyol against Real Vallecano. Leganes against Mallorca. Valencia against Villarreal. And then on Sunday, it is Deportivo Alaves versus Las Palmas. Now, Las Palmas did some form of wonder getting a draw against Real Madrid in their last game. I think it was yesterday or day before yesterday. It was a 1-1 draw. So I don't know what to expect. These both teams are they're okay, they're all right, but they should be able to probably get a draw in that one. And then Getafe hosting Real Sociedad, Sevilla against Girona, and Real Madrid against Real Betis. That is also going to be another interesting one. But Real Madrid should be able to pick 3 points. Unfortunately, that was what I expected in their last game against Las Palmas, but it didn't happen. But they are playing at home this time. Bernabeu, it's a tough place to play, to pick a 3 points from. So, but I do expect Real Madrid to pick up all 3 points in that game. And then in Serie A, it's match day 3, and on Friday, which is today, Venezia is going to be playing Torino and Inter Milan against Atalanta. Now, I expect Ademola Lookman to, return to the squad today. The whole transfer issue I think it has died out now. However, I'm still hearing things like, oh, Arsenal wants to sign him, but he's already in the squad today. So, unfortunately, they didn't win their last game. But you never can tell what will happen, but they are playing they are playing the champions, the reigning champions, so it's going to be quite difficult. And Milan is playing at home at San Siro, so it's going to be a very interesting match, I think. And on Saturday it is Lazio against AC Milan, and Napoli who won their last game 3-0 are hosting Parma. And on Sunday is Juventus, who are top of the table with 6 points, 2 wins out of 2 against AS Roma, who lost their last game, but maybe they can return to winning ways. You never can tell. And the last game for the weekend is Udinese against Como. Now, Como is a very interesting team. Their coach, Cesc Fabregas, has been doing so well with that team. So I think it's going to be very interesting to see how they'll do in this game. I think they've won 1 game out of 2. So you never can tell. I think that he has handled that team very well. But let's head over to Ligue 1, where it is match day 3. And also the weekend fixtures starting off today. Lyon hosting Strasbourg, and on Sunday Toulouse against Marseille. And on Sunday it is Monaco against Lens, Rennes against Rennes, and Lille against Paris Saint-Germain. Paris they've done so well. They've won their last 2 games with huge margins, so hopefully they can continue with that. But they're playing against the Lille side that is also quite tricky, especially for PSG. So, but I expect PSG to pick up 3 points in this game. And then it's Bundesliga match day 2. Some of the games are starting off today, but I'll just kick straight to Saturday games where Werder Bremen is hosting Borussia Dortmund, and the champions Bayern Leverkusen is hosting Leipzig. And on Sunday it is Bayern Munich against Freiburg. So those are some of the games for this weekend. You can obviously watch any of them, but I would like to hear what you think about some of these games, especially in the Bundesliga. Bayern Munich against Freiburg. That is always a very interesting game to be honest. I feel like it's always tricky, but also Bayern Leverkusen against Leipzig is also going to be a very interesting game. And of course, in the Premier League, Manchester United, Liverpool, your predictions and what you think what you think the game is, the results of the game. Do you think Liverpool is going to win, or Manchester United springing up a surprise against Liverpool? They're playing at home anyway, so anything can happen in that game. But please do share what you think in the comment section. Share with us what you think about the draws for the Champions League, the Europa League, and the Europa Conference League. And before we go, I just want to talk a bit about transfers. This Victor Osimhen issue is still ongoing. However, there's this about 90% confirmation that is going to Ali, and we are still also hearing that Chelsea is still in the in the mix, still trying to sign him. The good thing is he wants to play for Chelsea. He wants to go to Chelsea, and yes, I do expect him to want to play for Chelsea because he's still young. He's out 26, 27. So you don't want to go to Saudi pro, where I think a lot of the players that are there are older players, not washed out players, but players that they've to an extent won a lot of trophies, and where they just want to enjoy the money now. But for him, he's still young. He still wants to play in Europe, Champions League. If he goes to Chelsea, he might not play in the Champions League, but he knows he will be playing in Europe. So it's still a lot of questions. And this particular club now, Al Ali, is also looking to sign Ivan Toney from Brentford. Now, it's so funny that these both players are also in the radar for Chelsea. So it's a very tricky situation. And I think a lot of these clubs know what they are doing. And I'm talking from the side of Napoli now. They know if they get, say, a club from Saudi to put their head in the mix. Is going to get maybe a club like Chelsea to say yes, they want to pay 70 million, they want to pay that huge amount of money. But I do, as I said in my last video, I don't think it is really worth it, to be honest, because Ivan Toney is going to give you almost the same thing that Victor Osimhen is going to give you. He does have the experience of playing in the Premier League, so that's an added advantage for Ivan Toney to go to Chelsea. But the money is also an advantage for him because it might not cost as much as Victor Osimhen would. So if Chelsea knows what they're doing and they're trying to follow the idea they're giving everyone that, oh, we are not looking to spend too much in the market, we don't want to also spend too much on our players, they can easily go for Ivan Toney because I think it's going to be the best fit for them. But the transfer market ends tomorrow, so anything can still happen. I think it's the old drama of what comes with the transfer market anyways. And then another person is Aaron Ramsdale, who now has joined Southampton on a permanent basis. I don't know what it is that he has done to Arteta, but I think Arteta has achieved his aim by sending him off to Southampton. And he's not a bad goalkeeper. He isn't, to be honest. Maybe until Raya came into Arsenal, it was one of their best goalkeepers. So it was strange seeing him sit on the bench, and I just feel like maybe Arteta really never believed in him as much. But he is not a bad goalkeeper, and I think it's going to work just fine for Southampton that are coming back to the Premier League. They need someone who has that feel of competition, and that is exactly what Aaron Ramsdale has. And it's a good one because they didn't pay too much for him. I think it was about 18 million pounds, which could still rise to about 25 million. So it is not a bad signing. And also, update on Jadon Sancho from Manchester United, who is still a question of, oh, does he want to go to Juventus or he wants to come to Chelsea? And as I said in my last video, I don't think he's a perfect fit for Chelsea, but I don't know if the coach says he is. Well, there's nothing I can do about it. But the club has been giving green light. I'm talking of Chelsea now. They've been giving green light to have a conversation with Manchester United as to see what can happen, if it's possible for them to sign him or not. But as I said, I don't think it's a great fit for the club. Anyways, that's the much we would have to do today. Please share with me in the comment section what you think about the transfers. If you think Victor Osimhen is eventually going to join Chelsea, or is going to be Ivan Toney, or you think Sancho should, of course, join Chelsea or not, or go to Juventus. Probably playing in Italy is what he needs. I don't think he has the capacity to be able to play in the Premier League because that's just what it is. But anyways, yes, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Turn on your post notification buttons to get the latest videos when they drop. Share with your friends, like, comment, and do all the good stuff. Anyways, it's bye for now from me, and until I see you again, enjoy your weekend.